Okay. And I just spoken regarding about overview of the AWS and what are the services are there. And I just explain you like, go on to creating account, right? That information only I shared with you, right? So today's session is that I would like to go for talk about, a global infrastructure for the AWS global infrastructure. Okay. See, so why we need to learn this one? It's a pretty important actually. If you're not aware of it, how the AWS is cloud is working, then every day or every minute you might be getting a lot of confusion and how we are getting this entire, how the AWS is managing this entire thing, right? Okay, so you can see this slide and don't confuse about this slide. I can explain you about this slide. Before that one, I want to tell you a few points regarding about the infrastructure and the global infrastructure of the AWS. Okay, let me go for open my whiteboard, and I would like to go for share that particular whiteboard so that yep, give me a minute of time. That's fine. So let me share whiteboard, right? Okay, okay, cool. So now you can see my whiteboard, right? Okay. Now you can see my whiteboard, right? Okay. So pretty cool. Let me open my whiteboard. Oh, it was on title. Here I would like to go for explain about mhm, AWS infrastructure. So now we would like to go for understanding the AWS global infrastructure. Okay. So what exactly the AWS global infrastructure, which means that how the AWS is managing this cloud actually, okay, globally. So that a thing I would like to go for explain you. Okay, see in basically in AWS, the first thing is that the first entry is that data center. See the AWS they launched the various data centers in different places. Okay, so what is data center? So let me go for understanding the first what is data center. So guys, data center means it's nothing else. It's just a building actually. Okay. It's just a physical building. Okay. What it could be there inside of the building? The building, it could consisting the various rooms, and each room it could have the servers. Okay, racks actually. So there it could have the various racks. This is one rack, and this is one rack, and this is one rack, and this one is one rack, right? So the data center, the building, it could consisting the various rooms, and each room it could have the various rack, and each rack it could have the servers. Okay, each rack it could have the servers actually. So these are the servers which could be there inside of the racks. So each server, okay, see one more time I would like to try to explain you. Okay, so first, if you want to understand the AWS global infrastructure, the first thing is that you need to know these points. The first one is the data centers. Okay. Second one is the availability zones. Availability zones. And third one is the regions. Okay. You need to remember these 3 points. Okay. Now I would like to try to explain you. First thing is that data center. Okay. First, I would like to try to go for explain the data center. Then I would like to go for explain the availability zone. Then I would like to go for explaining the region. So if you know these concepts, then you can easily understood you can easily grasp the how the AWS is working. Okay. It mandatory actually. You need to know actually. Otherwise, every moment you might be getting a lot of confusions. Okay. First, try to go for understanding the data centers. Okay. So let's try to go for understanding the data center. Data center means it's a very simple thing. It could something like in a building. Okay. So it could just a building actually. Okay. So this is the building. It's just imagine yourself. This is the building actually. Okay. Mm. 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. See, data center means it's a building, right? So what it could be there inside of the building? Inside of the building, it could consisting the various rooms. Okay. And each room, it could have the various racks. Okay. And each rack, it could have the servers, physical servers. Each rack, it could have the multiple servers. Okay. See, this way, you are going to be the AWS is installing the various servers in one particular place. The place we are calling is a data center. Okay. See, each and every server, it could interconnected to each other. For example, one server, it could be interconnected with another one actually. This way, all the servers are connected together in one place that we are calling it a data center. Clear, right? See, likewise, this kind of data centers, it could consisting the more than two in one availability zone. Okay. So this is one data center, and this is one data center, and this one is one data center. So when we consisting or a combination of the multiple data center that we are calling it say one availability zone. Okay. This is availability zone. And multiple availability zones, we are calling it say one region. So the region which could consisting the multiple availability zones. This is one AZ. AZ means availability zone. And this is AZ1, availability zone 1. Okay. So when we consisting the multiple availability zone, that we are calling it say one region. Okay. And multiple regions. So here this is one region. Okay. So this way, no, and these regions are interconnected to each other. This availability zones also interconnected together, and this data centers also interconnected to each other, and each server it could be interconnected to each other. Okay. So this entire infrastructure we are calling it say AWS Global Infrastructure. Is there any question, guys? This everything it could be like a physical. So this entire thing could be managed by the AWS. Okay, not you and not me and not anyone. Okay, it could be managed by the AWS. Any questions? Akila, Lakshmi, any question regarding about this concept?
No.
All right. So you just see my slide so that you can understood what exactly it is. Okay. So this is a slide, right? Global infrastructure, and here, no, and here region US East 1, and this is just a code, the region code US underscore East underscore 1. Okay. And inside of the region you have the availability zone, and each availability zone it could have the multiple data centers. Okay. So this each and every region, it could be interconnected to each other. See, every region is connected via high bandwidth, fully redundant network. So it could be connected with a lot of, pipes, bandwidth, very high bandwidth wise. Okay, there are approximately 25 regions around the world. Okay, so and a region is a physical location in the world, and it is independent. So the reason it could something like it could independent, and it could be connected to each and every availability zones. Okay, each region it could consisting the more than two or more than availability zones, and each availability zone it could consisting the one or more data centers. Okay, that way the entire AWS is working. Okay, so everything it could be connected through bandwidth wires, bandwidth cables. Okay, each and every data centers, each and every region, each and every availability zones are interconnected, okay, via high bandwidth cables. Clear? So which is not communicated through satellite, which is communicated through cables. Okay, even these cables are going through inside of the ocean as well. So I hope you understood the what exactly the AWS global infrastructure. And for understanding purpose, I'm just opening my AWS AWS account, and let me share my Google.
It's surprised to know that they're connected cables.
Sorry.
It's surprised to know that they're connected with the cables.
Yes, it's connected through cables only. The reason is that if something is connected through cables, then security, like what we call
But from data center to the local office, again, it will be
even
using the
even
Wi-Fi.
every data center, each and every data centers are interconnected through cables only. Each and every availability zone which is interconnected through cable only. Each and every region which is interconnected through cable only. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I would like to go for open my AWS console. So I already show you you have to go for creating your own AWS account, so that you can hands-on practice. Otherwise, it could very tough to initial days to understood each and every concept. So here we have a sign in for the console. Here you can just click on that sign in, and then here yep. So you can see here, if you right click in the right side of the top corner, we have my name, and after that left side we have is here, right, Mumbai, right? See here, you just see US East N Virginia. This is one availability zone. 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 Okay. See this entire thing, it could be like one region. Okay. US East and US West. And so this is US region. Okay. And then Asia Pacific is, under Asia Pacific, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 availability zones are there in Asia Pacific. Okay, AP. And so the first thing is US. Here we have the US, right? And we have the AP, right? AP means Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific is one region. Okay. And Canada
It
is
is region
itself is one
or it
region.
is region or it is
Sorry, availability zone.
availability zone.
US is a region, okay, but inside of the US we have the 4 availability zones are there. Okay, US underscore East one is one availability zone. US underscore East one hyphen 2 is one availability zone. US hyphen West underscore one, it's one availability zone. US underscore West hyphen 2 is one availability zone. Okay, so when you combining these 4 availability zones are in US region. Okay. And coming to that here, AP. AP, no, abbreviation is Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific meaning is it's a region. And under the Asia Pacific region, we have the AP South 1, AP Northwest 3, AP Northwest 2, AP Southwest East 1, and AP Southwest 2, and AP South Northeast 1. So these are the availability zones. Here we have a 6 availability zones under the Asia Pacific region. Clear? In a Canada region, we have only one. It's a Canada CA Central one. And in a Europe region, we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, availability zones. Actually, I'm using the free trial so that I cannot have the permission to use the all the available availability zones and all the regions. So I may have some kind of limitations to use this account because it's a free. Okay, but if you paid, then it could access. It could have a lot many permissions and everything. Clear, right? Yep. So I hope you guys are understood what exactly the AWS Global Infrastructure.
Yes.
Any questions? Okay. Now, see this available, this AWS account, you can log in through, you can connect, you can interact with the 3 ways. For example, this is your AWS account. Okay. So this AWS account, you can connect in 3 ways. How many ways? That means interaction. You can interact with AWS account 3 ways. The one is management console. One is management console. Second one is CLI, command line interface. Third one is coding, SDKs. Okay, software development kits. See, management console in the sense, by the time of creating of this AWS, which is giving you something like, username and mail ID and password, right? By the time of creation of AWS account, you set your email ID and you set your password, right? Okay. So this credentials, we are calling it, say, root credentials. Root credentials. The person who is created this one, that user, we are calling it, say, root user. Okay. The root user means is the person is created himself, the AWS account, that guy we are calling it, say, root user. By the time of creation of this AWS account, okay, so he has to created his own email ID and password. So with help of those things only, with help of those credentials only, we can logging into that particular AWS account, right? So that credentials we are calling it, say, root credentials, root user credentials. Is it clear? So with help of this, username and with help of this email ID and password, we can connect this AWS account through web. That kind of process we're calling, say, management console. In a 2 minutes back, how I connected this AWS account through my management console only. So whatever you can see in my screen, that we are calling it, say, AWS account. So and that account I log in through my username and password. And second one is the CLI. CLI means command line interface. That means from the command, so you just open your command line interface, CLI, okay, or command prompt. You just open your command prompt. I think you cannot see my command prompt, right? I think so. Guys, whatever I written in my screen, can you see my content, what I'm writing?
Yeah.
You can able to see my, right? Whatever I'm
Yes.
writing on my screen, you can see,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, that's cool. Then it's a fine. It's awesome then. Okay. Let me wait a minute. So I'm just try to open that command prompt. So just sharing that command prompt. Yes. Okay. See, this is my command line interface, right? So every user can, if you're using operating system, even you're using the Windows or Linux or whatever it is, okay, you could have the terminal, or else you can call it the command line interface. Okay. So through command line interface, you can connect through your AWS. Okay. AWS and configure. So we have a command is there, AWS configure. But if you want to connect from your local computer to AWS through command line interface, you have to go for installing the AWS CLI. Okay, I can tell you that one. See, here we have the access key, but you might be thinking, what is access key and what is secret key, right? So with help of the access key, with help of the secret key only, we can connect from your AWS CLI to your AWS account. Okay. See, previously what I told you actually, so if you want to connect from, a web, through your AWS account, then you might have your user, your email ID and your password. With the help of that one, you can able to connect from your web, right? Through console. I mean, from the console, you can connect to the web AWS account. But when coming to this particular command line interface, if you want to connect from your command line interface to your AWS account, make sure that you should have the access key and you should have the secret key. So most of the time, and most of the users, and the AWS is what it is saying actually. So don't format. Okay. So if the root user, even the root user also, we can creating the access key and you can creating the secret key. But AWS best practice, what it is saying actually. So don't create the access key and don't create the secret key for the root user. And if you creating the access key and if you creating the secret key for the root user, nothing will happen. But if you share your access key and credentials to someone, if you forgot, then that guy can able to use your account. In some days might, if billing is happened and you're the responsible for your account, so you should go for pay the whatever charges will happen. Charges will created by AWS. So that's the reason for the root users, don't give your access key and don't give your secret key to anyone actually. Okay. Yes. And moreover, and AWS is telling that don't create instead of giving someone, first of all, don't create the access key, don't create the secret key. Okay. So you can create, but how you can, if you're not creating the access key, if you're not creating the secret key, then how I can connect from command line interface, and then how I can connect from the SDK, software development kits. And that means through coding, through scripting. See, for that one, we should have a concept. And so that concept we would like to go for understanding, that we are calling it, say, IAM. Okay. What it is? What it is? What it is, guys?
IAM.
What is IAM? So in AWS, if anybody want to start, from where we need to start and where we need to stop, if you don't know, because AWS is having almost 200 services. You don't know from where I need to start, and so you might be confused, right? But don't worry about it. You can start with IAM. So for using of IAM, it's a lifetime free, and the beauty of the IAM is that for using that AWS service, you don't need to pay. You don't need to pay for anything actually. Okay, it's absolutely free for anyone, and for lifetime, not even 1 year actually. Okay, so for almost approximately 200 out of the 200 services, and we have only one services, it could be free, that is IAM. So that is the importance of the IAM actually. So first of all, we need to go for understanding what exactly the IAM. Tell me IAM, what exactly IAM?
Access management.
If you want to know that, if you want to access, if you want to go and explore that one, then simply you can go and services and click on the services. And here we have the view all services. Okay. If you click on all the view services, here we have security and identity and complaints. So under this category, we have the first one is IAM. Okay. So we need to go for understanding the IAM. IAM means it's a identity access management. Okay. Okay. So when you go through this particular IAM, so it could have a lot of things are there. You just select this service. If you select this service, first go and explore this service actually. Okay. See, I have only one user, that is the root user so far. So that here it is showing me like a 0 users are there. Okay. So here how many users are there in this account? 0 users, right? And 0 groups. Okay. See, who is the creator of this account? That guy we are calling it the root user. So root user, we cannot consider like a normal user actually. Root user is a root user. You could have the permissions and you could have the policies and everything to manage the entire, he can manage anything inside of that particular AWS account. Okay. See, here we have first thing is that in a AWS dashboard. So here we have a security recommendations. See, that means AWS is recommending that for your account security. The first one is the add MFA. What is MFA? What is MFA, guys? What is MFA? What is the full form of MFA?
Multi-factor authentication. They don't need written.
Yes. So, if you want to log in into your AWS account, your email ID and password is enough, right? So, for example, you created your account and you shared your email ID and your password to someone. Okay, that guy can able to easily access your AWS account, and he can manage, instead of you, he can manage everything. And end of the day, might if you have the $100 bill, then you're the responsibility for that account, then you have to pay for it, right? Okay, so if you add the MFA, multi-factor authentication, this is second layer of security. Like the first layer is that simply you can give your username and password, then simply you can log into your account. Okay, so I can show you that one, and then I can go through that multi-factor authentication. First, I'm signing off, sign out this account. So again, I can click on the login back, and then here we have a root user, and here I have the IAM user. So far, I'm not explaining anything about IAM user. I am still in a root user only. Okay. For the root user, by the time of creation, I have the, username, and I created that, my username is my mail ID. Then I can set my password, and with single username and email ID and password, I am signing into my AWS account. This is single layer security. For single layer security, what happens if you forgot your username and password, or if you shared someone, then anybody, that guy can able to access it. Okay. But now what I can do for my root user, I can set multi-factor authentication. I can set the multi-factor authentication. Then what happened, we'll see. So multi-factor authentication in the sense you can add some kind of, a high security or second layer of security. There we have the three type of, you just click on the add MFA. So when we click on the add MFA, you can try to understood actually. So here, my security credentials, I'm doing for root user, not for some IAM user. I'm doing for, I'm in a root user only. Okay. The root user has access to allow all the AWS resources in this account. And we recommended following the best practice to learn more about type of AWS credentials and how they used, and see the AWS security credentials and the AWS general references. Okay. See, here we have, you don't have MFA assigned so far. And here we have an option is assigned MFA, multi-factor authentication. Then here we have to go for select your device, right? Okay. See, and so here you can do that, you can give the multi-factor authentication in three ways. One is authentication app. See, usually, they can use some kind of physical cards, hardware TOTP. That means if you're connected this hardware to your system, so authentication using code displayed on the hardware time-based on-time password. I think, what the movie it is? NTR movie. What is the name of NTR movie? It like, Butterfly. Nanak
I've
Premato, I
seen,
think.
but I don't remember the name.
Nanak Premato. Yes. We have a movie is like Nanak Premato, which is, rolled by the, NTR. And there, Jagpat Babu is the one of, villain in that particular movie. So that guy, if he want to enter into, and he want to exchange his share and everything, okay, he won't enter into that account, okay, he have some kind of, device, okay, the device, it could display some kind of auto generated numbers, okay, that numbers could, it could be generated dynamically. It is not a static actually, it could be dynamically generated. Okay, that numbers, it could have some kind of time limit. Within the time limit only, then it could, you have to enter that numbers, then only your that guy account can be hacked by someone. Otherwise no one can hack his account, right or not? Okay, that kind of authentication it is security keys. Authentication using code generated by touching YubiKey or other supported FIDO. Actually, these two things are devices, and we are not using this one for sake of understanding. Okay, I'm going to be using authentication app. So you have to go for installing the Authenticator app. So if, for example, a Microsoft Authenticator app and Google Authenticator app, we have different Authenticator apps are there. So you have to install that particular app in your system, okay, in your mobile phone, in your device. What the device and to which device you want to get the number, okay, that device, on that particular device, you need to go for installing the app. Okay, it's just one application. Okay, Authenticator app. You can go and search in a Google Play Store or else App Store, and you can install that particular Authenticator app in your mobile phone. Then you can give the device name. For example, I'm using the iPhone. Okay, so that I'm giving the name is iPhone. Okay, so once I set my name is device name is iPhone, then you can click on the next. Okay, see when you click on the next step, okay, here install the compatibility application such as Google Authenticator and Duo Mobile or Auth app or in your mobile device, or else see list of all compatibility applications. If you click on this one, it will list you all the authentication apps. Okay, in case of if you're using the iOS, then this many apps are there. Okay, so from this one you can go on installing the any one of app in your mobile phone. Okay, see, I already installed the where is my phone? I already installed in my phone Authenticator app. Okay, I'm just opening that Authenticator app and I'm scanning this QR code. Okay, I'm just scanning. I'm just removing this account first. Okay, so now I'm adding the other, just sign it. Okay, so here we have I just copied this one and it was generating in my mobile phone, which is generating the FMA code, and it could have the 45 seconds of time to enter the no continuous this number. Okay, I'm entering the 178. Okay, this is currently it is generated this number. Okay, and after this one, sequentially one more consequentially it was generating one more number. That number also I need to be entered so that it can authenticate it. So this device could be authentic. This device, uh, from this particular device only it can be generating the number. Yes, it was generated one more number. The number is 367 and 104. Okay, so after that one, here I have an option for add MFA, and if you click on the add MFA, then it was it is giving the permissions like I added the MFA. Okay, now how it is work, I can tell you now the difference between the previous one and now this one. Okay, simply you can go and sign out, and again we can sign into your login app. You can try to sign in. Okay, here I can give my username and password. Here I can give my username and password. Okay, see here previously, just before logging into this one, previous login. So this kind of option which is not there, right or not? The reason is that previously I'm not added this multi-factor authentication for my account. Just now I added this multi-factor authentication so that I set the device also. So to this particular device, I'm getting the one code. So it is a unique code. It is a dynamic code. It is not same for every time. Okay, it can be changed for every 45 seconds. So within 45 seconds, I have to enter this one. Otherwise, it can be generated one more code. Okay. After I enter this code, then you can submit it. So this way you can log into your root user or your AWS account. Okay, this way you can create the security for your account. Any questions? And this is for virtual MFA, but we have hardware TOTP tokens and we have FIDO security keys also. Okay, but those two things are it's a cost based things, and this virtual MFA it is not a cost based thing, and so it's a just we can install the app in your mobile phone or else in your corresponding device, and it can be generating the code, and the code you can enter it. Then you can set that you can add the multi-factor authentication to your account. And then it can be whenever you are going to be logging, then you can just open that particular app and see that particular code, and you can enter that code, so that only we can able to access your account. Otherwise, we cannot access your account. Clear? Any questions regarding about this experiment? Any questions? Akila, Lakshmi?
No.
No, sir, all clear.
Okay. Cool. Now, so now here in IAM only, it's not done actually. It's not done. I've just explained only multi-factor authentication. Now I would like to connect. I would like to interact with this AWS through my root user access key. See, root user has no active. The root user has no active keys, access keys. If you don't have the access keys, we cannot access from command line interface. We cannot access this AWS account through programmatically. So that it's a best practice. We have to go for creating the access key. So far, I'm not creating any IAM users. I'm gonna creating the root user access keys and root user security keys. Okay. So actually, we can't create this, using access keys attached to IAM instead of improve the security. So using access keys attached to IAM user instead of root user improve the security. Okay. Okay. So let me click on. So I don't have any access keys and security keys for this account. So that what I can do, I would like to go for creating that. Add the user, and the name of the user is admin. Okay, or else root user. Just for understanding that, I'm just creating that root user and go next and set the permissions. I would like to go for. So here we have the permission policies or administration permissions, all administration. If you said that, administration access for this particular account, then full administration, full access. Admin. So you don't worry about policies and everything. I can explain in upcoming sessions. Yes, this one. This one is correct. Here it is showing me like an action is star, and action is resource is also star, and effect is allow, right? Which means that, so the user root user, I'm creating the root user access keys, so that I'm giving that, administration access for full access. Then after here we have an option for next, and click on the create users. Yes, now you created that root user, and click on that dashboard. Okay. Where it is. Root user. Okay. I'm deleting it. This way you can create and you can delete. user, root user. Okay. Next. Next. What happened? Policies. Fine. Something is missing. So here it could be creating the access key and security key. That security key and use access key we have to go for download. With help of that one, we can connect from CLI actually. That was I'm trying to do it. Add user. Okay. Next. Okay. Yeah, here. Sorry guys, I'm not created, but yes, here we have options and just download the CSV file. Okay. So here, this is for credentials, user credentials, right? This is for admin username and this is password through console. So with help of this username and password, you can connect through console. Okay. So, but my intention is that not from the console actually. So I would like to go for connect from the security keys. So let me delete admins. Let me delete this user. Okay. Click on the user and admin. Okay. Go for the next. Attach the purchase directly. Add to user group. Next. Console password type and permission tags. Where is here? Create user. But it is not creating the access key. There could be, I did some mistakes in my, maybe I deleted some kind of permissions in my account. That's the reason I'm unable to creating that access key and security key. So if and only if we have the access key and security key, then only we can connect from the command line interface. Okay. That we can see by tomorrow's session actually. Okay. Clear, right? That's for today's session, guys. Hopefully you understood. And today I just explained only global infrastructure of the AWS and so multi-factor authentication. And if you just go on to trial yourself, And by tomorrow's session, what I can do, I can create the IAM user credentials, access key, and those one. And next one is I would go for creating the IAM user and root user access key and security key. And then we can connect from the CLA to here. And then after, I would like to go for connecting from any one of the program. I mean, any one of the script, any one of the like an SDK like Python or Java or Node.js or Ruby, whatever it is. We can use some kind of coding, and through coding, we can try to connect to your AWS account. Okay. Clear, right? So that's for today's session. Hopefully understood. And let's meet by tomorrow's session for continuation of the next point. Thank you. Bye. Take care.